eqing guitar. So this is the verse riff, and I'll show you with just the amplitude plugin on. This amplitude plugin's adding some delay and some reverb. So I didn't really need to do much to get a better tone on this guitar. I just wanted to brighten it up a little, and sometimes what I do is I'll cut some of the mids and boost some of the high end. So guitars, if I'm going to boost, I like to boost in between 1K and 3K. So I did a boost at 2.5K here. I'll show you the frequencies that I'm taking out and then adding. So that's a little bit of the mud, and then here's a little bit of the attack. So similar to the distorted guitar, I did a high pass filter at 100, and I'll have you listen to this information down here, let you hear the mud that we didn't need in the song. That's not really adding anything, so we could take that out. And then I added a low pass filter at about 10K, and I'll have you listen to this information. So you can't really hear it much, so just to be sure, we took it completely out. And then lastly, I added some compression. I used the CLA 76 again, and I have the fastest release, medium slow attack, and the ratio is 4:1. So I'll show you what this is doing. Evening it out, making the high peaks a little bit less in volume and bringing up some of the quieter notes that were played. Next I have this riff that comes in towards the end of the verse, and this wasn't added until the song was almost done. I felt like this part of the song needed something added, so we just added this lightly distorted guitar with some palm muting. And these are going to their own bus, verse geet backup I called it. And I'll just play you the verse guitar and show you what these guitars sound like when they come in. So they're pretty low in the mix. I'll just show you what I did with them. So I put the SSL channel on there, and I set a high and low pass filter. High pass is 100, low pass is at 9K, and actually I made a couple EQ moves. So I boosted a little at 2K, so if your guitar needs a little more bite, then in between 1.5 and 2.5. So I boosted by 3 dB, and then I also took out some low mids at 300 hertz, and then I took out some of the real low 100. So I didn't want anything getting in the way of the bass, the other guitar, so I took this down a little bit. So let me show you before and after. So it might sound better with this plugin off on its own, but we didn't want to muddy up the mix anymore. We didn't need more low end. We just needed the high end of this guitar to cut through to add more to the song. So I'll just play you this part with the song so you can hear what it's adding. I hope you can hear that. It's really low in the mix. It's not meant to be a noticeable part, but I feel it does add something. The last plugin I added was a compressor, and I have a medium release, medium attack, and a 4:1 ratio. So I'll show you what this is doing. So it's really just keeping that needle pinned so it's a consistent volume the whole time. That's what I wanted for this part. We got 2 guitars left, so this is the pre-chorus clean guitar main riff. I'll just show you this real quick. So I didn't really do much to this guitar after the amplitude plugin. Just set a low pass filter at 9.4K and a high pass at 100. I didn't do any EQ on it. And then I added this compressor with a medium slow attack so you can hear the plucking of the notes a little more. And then the fastest release, got a 4:1 ratio. I'll show you this. Just like the verse guitar, we're just evening it out so you can hear the quieter notes and you bring the peaky notes down. And then I have another riff going on beneath the main, the lead riff, and I'm not really doing much of anything to this. I'm just using some compression, and similar to the palm muted guitar in the verse, I have a slower release, so it's hanging on to the compression longer than the main riff. So I'll show you what this sounds like. The compression just brings it to the forefront a little more. I'll show you what these riffs sound like together. So you notice I have these both panned up the middle, but I did do something kind of cool. So this guitar, the main riff, is just in mono coming right up the center. And then in the amplitude program on this other riff, I made it a stereo track. And what I did is I put 2 different mics on the cabinet, and then I panned them hard right and left. So this one's in stereo and this one's in mono, so you do get some separation. I'll play it again. Alright, so that's it for guitar. One other thing I should say is that all my guitar tracks do end up at this final guitar bus. So sometimes if I do need to add more compression afterwards, I'll do that on the guitar bus. But I didn't think it needed any processing on the bus. So everything's just going straight to this bus and it's going clean to my master bus. Guys, thanks for watching. Make sure to download your free Ultimate Home Studio Mix Guide. I made this for you guys so you could start getting your mixes sounding better. There's a lot of great information in there. And be sure to reach out if you have any questions or if you need any help with your mixes. Thanks.